reviewing. So in your notes, you're not going to really have to take many notes. We're just going to practice. I'd like you to practice a few things with me. So the whole test is about equations. So we've learned all the necessary steps to solve equations. You've got this list written down several times, so let's just talk about it really quickly. Every time we see an equation, what do we do first? You guys tell me. Distribute. Yeah, Max, how do you know you're going to have to distribute?
If there's a number in front of a parentheses.
Exactly. If there's a number right next to a parenthesis, that has to be multiplied in first. Then we look on each side. If there's some like terms on the left, get them together. If there's some on the right, get them together. Look on the same side. And then if we still have variables on both sides, we got to move them to one side, do the opposite if you go from one side of the equation to the other, and then we solve. So we can deal with all kinds of equations. Will you write down this first one for me? Negative 5x equals negative 40. So sometimes they're more on the simple side, sometimes we got a lot to deal with. So this one, negative 5x equals negative 40. Jake, what would you do to solve for x on this one? Say it again one more time.
We get negative 5, since it's multiplication, divide.
Perfect. Good. Divide by negative 5, yes. I'm glad you noticed that was right next to the x, meaning multiply, so yes, it's got to be divided when they're next to each other. Guys, what's a negative divided by a negative? Positive, good, so positive 8. Perfect. So sometimes they can be pretty short, quick, fast. We like that. Number 2, we write number 2 down. They can have decimals in them, that's okay. We still do the same thing we normally do. Alma, what would you do to start this one? Good. And do that subtracting by adding. Now your calculator can for sure help you. We got negative 5.43 plus 8.2. Can someone plug that in and get us negative 5.43 plus 8.2? What are we getting? We'll try it one more time. Do either 8.2 minus 5.43. What do we get?
2.77.
Good, 2.77. Yes. You can do negative 5.43 plus 8.2, or you can do 8.2 minus 5.43. And the y is by itself. So calculators can help us with decimals. Sometimes we only have one little thing to do. Now we write down number 3. Then we may get some that have more going on. So if you'll all write down number 3. 1/3 y plus 2/3 y minus 4 equals 13. Move this up a little. So now we gotta think, okay, what do we work on first? Cooper, what do you see we can work on very first on this one? Good, again, we've got some y's. They are fractions, that's okay. Do they have a common denominator? Yeah, so we can do this. What is 1/3 plus 2/3? 1 again, yeah, that's 3/3 again, which is 1. So again, those combine nicely. Okay, Jackson, what do we do next? Add the 4 to the 13. You guys, what's 13 and 4? 17. You got it. So sometimes we got to combine like terms. Okay, number 4. We write this one down. This one's got all of it. This one's got every step. So we just take it a little bit slower maybe. Walk through it. Making sure we take care of everything. Just get that one written down. Okay, Preston, tell us what you see. Not Preston, Brent. Tell me what to do first.
We just do
Oh, yes. Good. Will you tell us what you would get on this one?
I get 16 minus 12.
Good. 16 minus 12. Now we have another distribute on the other side. You can do that right now too. What is 10 times g? 10. Good. 10g. How about 10 times our 3? 30. Good. So you can do both distribution on that same step. Okay. From here, Dane, what do we need to do? Combine like terms, yeah. Dane, what can we combine on the left? Good, 6G plus G. Guys, what is 6G plus G? 7G, yeah, there is a 1 there, so 7G. Okay, what like terms are on the right side? Yeah, the numbers. We can get those numbers together. 30 plus 3, get those together. Okay, we've shrunk it down. Now we can move forward. Alan, what do we do next? Yes, yes, we gotta now move that G clear to the other side. So yes, do its opposite to move it over there. Do the opposite. What do we get? 10G minus 3G? 7G? I'm thinking the answer in my head. 10G minus 7G is 3G. Okay, Barbara, help us out. What do we do next? Good. Minus that 33. What are you guys getting? Negative 12 minus 33. Good. Negative 45. They're both negative, so we join them together. What did we do last almost every single time? Divide. Who's got it? G equals. Jackson, what about negative 15? Yeah. Negative 45 divided by 3. So sometimes we've got tons of stuff to take care of. Just take it one little thing at a time. We know the process. Distribute, like terms, and then move that variable, add, subtract, multiply, divide. Any questions on that kind? Just go slow, take your time, bring everything down, and sure enough, you're there. Okay, so equations. I feel like you guys are doing really well with equations. We're going to do great on that part. Then we have to deal with a few word problems. So I just wanted to talk to you about a few strategies you can use. Let's look at this first one. After paying $5.86 for lunch, Brent has $21.43 left. How much money did he have before buying lunch? So could you kind of think of how you could figure that out? Raise your hand if you have an idea of how you could figure out how much money he had before buying lunch. Okay, several of you have some ideas. Grace, what's your idea? What's your thought?
Oh, I think I read through that.
Okay, you're not quite sure? Gabe, help her out. What do you think we could do?
21.43 plus 5.86.
Okay, good. So it says he has 21.43 left, right? He used $5.86 to pay for his lunch. So we want to know what he had before that. So yeah, we just add it back to what he had left. That's going to tell us what he had before. Can someone add 21.43 plus 5.86? How much money does he have to start with? 27.29 cents. Yeah. Yes. Right. You can just work your way backwards. You could create an equation if you wanted to. You don't have to. But you could say, okay, he had this much money. We don't know. But he spent $5.86. If he spends, are we going to add or subtract $5.86? Yeah, we're going to have to subtract the $5.86 from what he had, and then we know he has $21.43 left. You could create yourself a little equation if you wanted to, but we're going to end up doing the same thing. We're going to end up adding the $5.86 either way you think about it. So just be sure to show what you did, whichever method you chose to use. Any questions on that one? Okay, this is another type we're going to see. We got the cost of a concert ticket in the VIP section is $12.50 more than the cost of a regular ticket. You paid $45 for the VIP ticket. Right, solve an equation for the cost of a regular ticket. Any thoughts on how we can figure out price? So good, good. Okay, Barbara, what do you think? Okay, so the VIP ticket is $45, right? The regular ticket, so the VIP is $12.50 more than a regular. So this is more than the regular. So yeah, right, Cooper? Yeah, 45. The VIP ticket is more, it's more than the regular. So if we want to know how much the regular is, yeah, just subtract off how much more it is. Yeah, when we see more than we feel like we want to add, we got to go backwards a little bit on that. Yes, because it's $12.50 more than the regular. So if we subtract them, can someone tell us the price of a regular? $32.50. $32.50. So if you wanted to write an equation You could use that more than, you could say the VIP ticket is $12.50 more than the regular, and this would be your regular, and the VIP ticket is $45. So either way, you're gonna subtract the $12.50 to get it. So most of these, you can kind of just think about what's happening and know what you're going to need to do with those values to get what they're after. Or you can write an equation. Questions on that one? Okay, last thing that we need to remember, our triangle. You guys are really good at this. How much do all three angles add up to be? 180. So you can truly create an equation by adding all three angles together to equal 180. Let's just practice. Will you please write down this first one for me? Just write down, you can draw really quickly this first triangle. So if you're given a triangle, and the instructions are going to say solve for x and find the missing angles. So you got to do both. Solve for x and find those missing angles. So all three angles have to add up to be 180. So we just actually take those, whatever they look like, each angle, all three of them, and they equal 180. And every single time we had some like terms. So I want to show you just a little bit of a shortcut maybe. Could you possibly add up those like terms as you're looking at that triangle to create your equation? Sure, we're going to add up our x's here, right? Could you just not go ahead and add them up here? You could do that. You could combine your like terms as you're creating the equation as a little shortcut. We can see those x's that need to get together. What is 1x plus 1x? 2x. So we could get those together. And then we see we've got three numbers we need to add together. We could do that right here. Instead of writing all of it out, you could combine like terms as you're looking at your triangle. Can someone give us 70 plus 80 plus 40? 190. So you could go straight to this, because you know you're going to combine your like terms and put them together. Or if you like to write it out, that's totally fine. You can do this. That's great. If that works for you and you feel good with that, go for it. But if you want to combine the like terms as you're writing it, that may save you just a bit of writing. You can do that. Any questions how we got this 2x plus 190? Okay, let's solve it. Isabel, how do we solve for x on this one?
Divide 2.
We will divide 2, but what do you undo first?
Oh, wait, first
Yeah, undo that adding first before you divide. You guys, what's 180 minus 190? Good, negative 10. Now divide your 2. What's our x going to be? Good, negative 5. That's part of your answer. And then you're being asked to find the missing angles. You got to find those missing angles. So this one says it's x plus 80. What's our x? Negative 5. Yeah, what's negative 5 plus 80? And then if we do the same here, negative 5 plus 70, 65. And we've got our missing angles. Okay, let's just write the equation on this one. We won't solve it. Let's practice combining the like terms as we're looking at it. Find the x's. Do you see the x's? We got 8, then how many? 5. And 5. So 8 and 5 together, 13 x's. Yeah, that saves us a bit. Now let's look at our numbers. Make sure you look at their sign. We got negative 5, and 60. What's negative 5 and negative 5? Negative 10 plus a 60 would be a 50. Good, so you could jump right to this, or if you want to write them all out, that's great. But you can certainly combine those like terms here and make it a little bit easier on yourself, and then you can solve. Minus the 50, divide by 13. Get your x and plug it in. Are we feeling okay with our triangles? Awesome. Okay, so we're going to practice these today. So tomorrow, when we take that SLO one more time, you're going to ace it, and you're going to show that you did better the second time. So if you'll get a clean piece of paper in your notebook for the assignment today, it's actually called the SLO Review. So we title your assignment SLO Review today. And get your name, first and last name, hour. Okay, so you'll show your work on this paper. Once you're happy, because you get to try every problem as many times as you want to, put your score at the top of your page and take a picture, upload it in Canvas. Okay, keep working on those passages.